Welcome back, bitches. Today we're gonna be talking about a weird kind of manga. It's called Venus Puts Fur on Me. The Japanese, I have to read this to pronounce it. It's Ijimeru Yabai Yatsu, but English is Venus Puts Fur on Me. Alright, so this manga was actually recommended by a subscriber. Yeah, it's good. His name is Tevita Nawadra. See, I'm so sorry if I messed up. I don't know how to pronounce it. I messed up, man. Sorry about that. But this is a good manga. Whew. Where do I begin? Alright, this manga is it's pretty rough. Okay, it's rough. It's a manga about bullying. Here's how I would best describe it. So it's a manga about bullying with a love triangle, right? I want to start off by answering the question: is it good? Is this manga good? Yes, it is. It's actually a pretty interesting plot. So basically, they're going the route of the traditional love triangle, but all the characters are bullies. Well, not all of them. Most of the main cast are bullies in one way or another. It's some people would call this a psychological thriller. I've also seen it here as a tragedy. I guess it is a tragedy for the character in question. I'm gonna explain soon. Now, I don't want to share too much about what exactly happens in this, but there are quite. I have to say this: it's quite disturbing for weak bitches, or but it's disturbing for people that aren't comfortable with not gore. There isn't a lot of gore in it, but there is some blood. There is some disgusting elements in there, but it's manageable. It's not like Elfen Lied, right? It's not dismemberment or anything like that. Yet, maybe. I don't know. It's still like really new. There are only 45 chapters so far. So the manga follows Nakajima. He's actually bullying Shirasaki. I'm gonna check the names throughout this. There's a lot of Japanese names and I don't want to mess them up. So Nakajima is actually bullying Shirasaki. It's based in high school, so it's typical high school bullying. That's on the forefront, okay? It's not what is the truth. So he's bullying her simply because she is blackmailing him into bullying her. He doesn't want to bully her. He's actually the one getting bullied. That's the thing. It's very weird to me that she can consistently tie him up. That's something that doesn't make sense to me. Why doesn't he just run away? You know, it's not that hard. He's proved himself to be stronger than her. He's also proved himself to be very capable as a bully. So to me, it would make sense that he would be able to escape her, but maybe she has something else on him to keep him subservient to her. But she is yandere. I need to explain that. A yandere character trope, where you have a gentle person, a kind, gentle, modest person on the outside, but deep down they're psychopaths. They're very selfish, cruel, manipulative. Yandere. That's one of the many deres. There's kudere, there's kudere and tsundere, I believe. I should probably make a video explaining all the deres. But yeah, she's a yandere. But here's the thing, she's a masochistic yandere. She wants Nakajima to keep bullying her because she likes him. That's where the love triangle comes in. She likes him, so she wants to capitalize all of his attention to her in the form of him bullying her. It's a very weird dynamic. And I've seen many people in the comment section of the manga get confused as to what's happening here. What is this? But that's the basic gist. Shirasaki loves Nakajima, but she is forcing him to bully her. He doesn't want to bully her, but he's scared of her because she tortures him. But that's the weird thing. He's allowing himself to get tortured, to me. Or he's just really dumb. He's proved himself to be an extremely dumb protagonist. Not a likable protagonist. No, I don't like the dumb protagonist trope. So she will grab his hand and run off into a secluded area and then torture him, and he just sits there and take it. That makes absolutely no sense to me. At one point later on in the manga, he actually runs away from her and he's able to escape, no problem. So to me, it's dude, let's run away. Let's run off. What's so hard about that? It's an interesting way to write a story. So typically I would consider this more of a slice of life rom-com with bullying attached to it. That's basically it. So it's not a bad manga by any means. It's just that after you figured out the gist or the once you figured out the gimmick, then there isn't really a lot more to it. The other characters simply work off that premise of not knowing the true dynamic between Shirasaki and Nakajima. To everybody else, Nakajima is bullying her, but in truth, she's the one forcing him to do it. I don't think anybody. Well, I think there's one other character that knows what's happening. I got my notes here. Gotta check my notes. Alright, so typical with these kinds of mangas, you have like side characters. One side character is Tanaka. Can't believe I forgot his. I keep forgetting these characters' names. So Tanaka is the typical white knight kind of character. He fills that stereotype in the story, or archetype in the story. But he's pretty stupid. He's not stupid, he's more naive. He doesn't actually know what's happening. So he's trying to prevent Nakajima from torturing or bullying Shirasaki, but he doesn't know that Shirasaki's the real bully. So it's literally his goal to protect Shirasaki from Nakajima. I'm not sure if he has a crush on her, but he's fulfilling that white knight role in trying to prevent Nakajima from bullying Shirasaki. But here's the problem. When he is successful, Nakajima gets really angry at him because there's this dynamic between Shirasaki and Nakajima in the fact that if he doesn't bully her strong enough, she will torture him. So there's a quality that needs to be maintained in the bullying. It's a weird relationship. Now, I do need to say this though. It is rough. So a lot of people, I gotta say it again. If you're not okay with bullying, don't read this. I'm not okay with bullying, but I'm okay with it in a story. It's a story. But this might trigger some people. I should have said this in the beginning. I'm sorry. I didn't plan that out properly. But yeah, if you are not able to handle the kind of storytelling that involves bullying, then don't read this. This might trigger you. Yeah, it does. Avoid this one. This one's kind of rough. But yeah, Tanaka is continuously trying to prevent Nakajima from bullying Shirasaki, but he's making Nakajima's life worse. And I gotta say this, like, she's really good at bullying. Like, she's done some things to this kid. Like, she's pulled teeth. She's tied him up and pulled his teeth out. And then she turns around and says, hey, do me. Pull my teeth next. Dude, this manga is... I can see where some dark, twisted people are gonna really love this manga. Am I one of those people? I don't think so. It's an alright manga. It's not like, as I said, Elfen Lied, which was very bloody gory. That was very uncomfortable. But this is manageable because once you realize that she likes the bullying, then it doesn't really seem that bad. The only one getting bullied is Nakajima, but he's an idiot because he can just run away. They even put people in the comment section of the manga, of the website I was reading the manga on, were saying, why doesn't he just like leave? Transfer schools. This is anime. They transfer all the time. Alright. So speaking of transferring schools, that leads me to the next character, Kato. Kato is a transfer student, so he transfers into their class. But here's the thing with this guy. He's actually a true bully. He enjoys the act of bullying people. So when he sees Nakajima bullying Shirasaki, he immediately gets competitive. He's like, yo, what's happening? I'm the top dog here. I gotta bully her, not you. You're a bitch. But here's the thing. He kind of sensed that Nakajima wasn't a true bully. That was so weird to me. Like, what bullies can detect other bullies, but it appears that he can detect like real bullying and fake bullying, and he was able to deduce that Nakajima was being controlled by who he doesn't know. At first he thought it was Tanaka, but it wasn't really him. After a while, he actually in one aspect later on in the manga, he's able to like capture Nakajima, tie him up, and build this ring. It's like an octagon, a fighting ring, made with trees and barbed wire, right? So he basically got Nakajima into the barbed wired octagon to torture him. But then Shirasaki appears and she literally grabs the barbed wire fences and rips it open to get in there because she only wants Nakajima for herself. Granted, Kata has been consistently displayed as a very strong person. Extremely strong, alright? He's been able to like break brittle trees with his bare hands. He's been depicted as taller than most of the other characters. So there is a level of imposing strength that is written into his default character. But when he faces off with Shirasaki, he can't beat her. She's too fast. She's too fast. So she literally ice picked the guy. Then she tied him up to a tree. The manga progresses on. So basically, Shirasaki was able to torture this guy to such a degree that his hair turned white. And also, he became more of a modest and docile person while talking to her. He even called her ma'am. He called her ma'am. He doesn't use respectful honorifics with anybody. But she was able to fuck him up to... Oh man, I shouldn't say it. She was able to mess him up to such a degree that he promised that he would stop bullying. Keep in mind, this guy was able to bully multiple people to differing degrees. In the manga, you see how far it went. It was actually told when he was introduced. I don't want to ruin too much stuff for you. I'm just talking about the manga because it's pretty interesting, the events that carry on. But then that's where the most recent chapter left off. We're not sure what's going to happen to him. He was saved by Tanaka. There is that. So he's going to... I don't know what his relationship is going to turn into with Tanaka. Maybe they would start working together to stop Shirasaki. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't really predict this manga. It's very cliche in the fact that it wants to keep the storyline of nobody knowing that Shirasaki is a real bully and forcing Nakajima to torture her. It's not going to get to the point where anybody realizes. Well, anybody that can do anything will realize, because once again, these are high school. Also, I need to say this: their homeroom teacher is actually being blackmailed. So Shirasaki was able to find out that he likes to go after high school girls. It's illegal. So they found pictures of him, trying to coerce a high school girl. So, talk to him. Yeah. So basically, he's getting blackmailed. So whatever bullying occurs, he washes his hands of that. You don't snitch on me, I don't snitch on you. It goes on to the point where he's actually trying to protect Nakajima from getting bullied. He'd give him information with regards to what the principal is going to try to do to prevent bullying. Just to, give him a heads up. Alrighty. Our next character is Aoyama. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I think it's Aoyama. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Somebody let me know. So she's actually the third part of the love triangle. She's in love with Nakajima. And she also knows that Nakajima is being forced by Shirasaki to bully her. But it's not that easy. It's not that simple. She's also a yandere. She wants to kill Shirasaki to get Nakajima for herself. So basically, this guy's in a love triangle. Two yanderes, two psychological women that like him, they're in love with him, and they're willing to kill people to keep. I feel this is a tragedy for real. It is a tragedy. They categorize this correctly. It's a tragedy for this Nakajima kid because he's so dumb that he doesn't know how to get out of a situation like this. If you're getting bullied, you bounce. There are multiple points in the manga where Nakajima will be getting bullied by Shirasaki, but he's tied to a chair. But to me, I'm wondering, how do you get into the situation where a high school girl can tie you into a chair? Wouldn't you run away? Come on. What does he tell him to sit in the chair and he just sits in the chair and that's it? Dude, this is so messed up. He shouldn't be this dumb. This is why I don't like the dumb protagonists. Because yes, their dumbness is used to progress the story, but it hurts my head in the fact that, dude, this didn't need to happen. You could have just left. You could have just bounced. You could have just ran from the bitch. Just run. But yeah, Aoyama comes into play. She wants to kill Shirasaki. And she wants Nakajima for herself. That's basically it. And the final character, she's introduced more recently. Her name is Midorida. She's do I have to collect my thoughts with this one? So Midorida is a young girl who is also in their school, in a different class. She's getting bullied too. But Nakajima actually figured out who the bully was and got him expelled. Yeah, hypocrite, I know. So he was able to get her bully expelled. Now, she sees him as her white knight, and she wants him to keep protecting her. Here's the problem though. She's willing to put herself in harm's way to get his attention. Right? But Shirasaki also wants his attention in her bullying him. Oh, I forgot to mention, Shirasaki actually has like a bullying time schedule for him. So like his bullying attempts is actually scheduled in by Shirasaki. It's a messed up manga. I'm sorry, it's pretty messed up. But yeah, Midorida wants to keep him around to protect her. So much so to the point that she actually got him to the roof of the school and was willing to jump off so that he would actually grab her. And she did jump off because he had to grab her so that way she didn't fall to her death. Dude, this guy is not getting no breaks. None whatsoever. The Midorida situation is different because he did the right thing. He got rid of the bully. Granted, he's bullying with Shirasaki, so that's... Yeah, this manga is pretty rough. It's not a bad manga. It has potential. The art style is pretty, I wouldn't say amateur, but there are issues. Some panels look really good. Like some faces look really well, crafted and illustrated. But for a lot of others, it just looks a bit weird. Especially like full body shots, it looks very flat. Typically with these kind of new mangas, the art style will grow and develop as the mangaka has more time to practice and flesh out the story. Also, I do have a few problems with this. Typically, the main character. I can't stress how annoying it is to have a main character that's stupid. It does drive the plot along, but Jesus, it irks my soul to see him get into a bad situation. And the easy solution is to just bounce, just leave. Let the teacher know that, hey, this is what's happening. He could have like set up a camera to record the bullying that she's doing onto him. He has so many options to get out of it, but I think he wants to stay in that situation. Because I remember reading out in one panel where he was saying he wants to go back to the peaceful days. And the peaceful days he's referring to is when he would torture or he would bully Shirasaki. And that's all he had to worry about. Also, everybody in the classroom seems to ignore the bullying because they're afraid that they're going to get bullied too. So this begs the question, is bullying that serious of a problem in Japan that, school kids really aren't able to like handle it and the teachers aren't doing much to protect them? So is that where this kind of manga comes into fruition? Or is that why this kind of manga comes into fruition? I don't know. I don't live in Japan or any of these other Asian countries. So maybe it is the case that this is just a matter of time for a manga like this to come about. So in final thoughts, this manga's pretty good. It's alright. It's a good read. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep up with it because the updates are pretty slow. You get about like 2 a month. And I'm not sure if this is the kind of manga that will take off. Maybe it will. It may get an anime soon. I could see this getting an anime. I could see this getting. It wouldn't surprise me if I saw this get an anime. The art's still pretty, not amateur, but with more practice, this mangaka is gonna get a lot better. Yeah, so it's a good read. It's a good, read for a day. It's like 45 chapters, not too much. So if you really like bullying, I guess you can read this. I don't condone bullying. I'll say that I'm not an advocate of bullying. I need to say it on the internet here because I don't want to get cancelled. Apparently that's a thing. You can get cancelled on the internet. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this content. Please let me know if you have any recommendations that I could use to improve my channel here. Alright, that's it. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out.